Hello, you beautiful people, past, present, and yes, for those in the future, welcome back to another leveling. Oops. I didn't realize my volume was that high. Oops. Okay. Anyway, let's try this again. Hello, you beautiful people, past, present, and yes, for those in the future, welcome back to another GU leveling stream. And today, we got ourselves the absolute final 10 levels of this. We are less than 10,000 experience away from completing this challenge. That is just crazy to me. And it's just bonkers that we've gone so far, and we're just about to finish this. 10 more levels. Boop. And I'm trying to think, like, how we're going to tackle these last, I guess after this stream, 9 levels going forward. Ooh, excuse me, well, that's not the answer. Maybe let's see, what? I think, so, next week is going to be Dawnbound. The week after that will be level 42 we're going to try to get to. So, like, every other Saturday, with the exception of the birthday week in July, we're probably going to tackle maybe 2 levels at a time. I'm going to be taking a week off to celebrate my birthday, you know, and just kind of stream with you guys, you know, play some games, and also try to finish up this challenge, because honestly, I think it would be kind of neat if we not only completed this challenge, but we completed it before my birthday. That would be ideal. Yeah, let me tell you, I had off today, but I'm still feeling a bit tired. Man, it's been a long rainy day. Oh, rainy week for that matter. And we got a boot. So yeah, while I was trying to gather gems earlier, before the stream, I ended up encountering the doppelganger for the first time in a good while, for this challenge. Like, I think in this save file, I've only ever encountered the doppelganger that one time. So it is kind of funny to see, because it's like the games tell me stop farming for gems, you know? And I was also trying to see how far we can get without doing any experience outside of this dungeon, and I thought I had a way to do it, but the problem is the NPC party members still attacked even on the life setting. So like, the original idea was that if I were to get a game over, you know, like not game over, but just kind of like get defeated, and then my party members defeated the enemy, would I still gain the experience? I want to try to test that out somehow, but as of right now, it is kind of hard to, or not kind of hard to, it's pretty much impossible on account of the party members are constantly going to be attacking regardless. I mean, unless they're in one of the settings, it's like they could just remain static. Somehow I doubt it. I know in IMOC you can just have them do nothing, but in this game I don't think that's possible. Boop. Boop and boop. Da da da. Hey, look at that! 777s. That means we're gonna get lucky this stream, huh? I think so. I think so. So yeah, we got less than 10,000 experience needed. We're gonna try to tackle the rest of these levels. I'm trying to think. I do want to eventually have like the last 2 levels, or at the very least like the last level dedicated for either my birthday itself or before then. Maybe we'll have like a 2 leveling session, like here and there. I don't know. Like, when it comes to trying to get 2 levels, it's still a good amount of grind. Boop, boop. I did manage to get some more. No, no! Why? Ooh. I hate when I pick up items and just like shifts everything around the menu. Alright, healing drink. I'm gonna have to make sure I don't accidentally, you know, do that again. Honestly, excuse me. So, I've been looking into what could possibly happen if we did this for volumes 2 and 3. And one of the things that I did notice is that even if we did get to level 50 in this game, like there's still that 999 experience threshold, like before we get to volume 2. Well, I didn't take into account that Haseo gains a level when he does his job extension quest. So, how is that going to work exactly? The game is supposed to give us 1,000, but, you know, maybe it'll just cap out. But then, like, once we hit volume 2, that's gonna be tricky. Because if we're doing the same challenge there for volume 2 than we are doing here, that means we're allowed maybe just a 1 battle grace period to see how far we can get in that game, because I really do want to get the speed boosting items, or at the very least the speed boosting, what's it called? The speed boosting, charms or the, consumable items for that 25% speed increase. Granted, it's more expensive to do it that way than actually just finding the augment, but at the very least, you know, that will be helpful and the such. Because the one thing about this volume that I kind of wish they had is the speed boosting items, you know? Like, at the very least, the 10% ones. I'm not sure why that's not available in volume 1, but maybe it's just kind of like a small thing, you know? Ooh, oh, I almost did smoke screen. I almost did a smoke screen again. Oops. Sloop. Da da da. Da da da. Ding. So I think we also need about like what, 3,000 battles? Probably like close to that. I can't really see my stats here at the moment, but I know it's somewhere around 3,000. Something to that effect. I'm also interested in seeing like how many of these enemies that we have defeated. Like, I know it's gotta be in the high thousands at this point. Like, I'm just curious about like how many goblins, how many of these what is it called? Bazels? Okay, I know they're like the sword enemies. I'm wondering how many of these enemies that we have actually defeated. Like, from each of these 3. I don't know. Okay, yeah, Zombazo, excuse me. So Gon is the earth, Zalan is the wind. Okay, I have to remember that. Always getting the names mixed up. Excuse me. Hey, we got a tornado. Honestly, the tornadoes have been a godsend for selling, so I could get these return feathers. Because while gaining 3 GP does add up, it is still a very small amount. Like, Like, we're maybe getting a few hundred per stream. Hey, granted, I have been also selling off some of the augments that we're not using. Like when I'm doing the chim hunt. Excuse me. I did it again! Oh, I hate it when it's like that. Oh, I hit. Okay, no more smoke screens, please. I'm tired of accidentally using them. Whoa, 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 whoa. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I think we got plenty of the beginner's books and the beginner's texts for later. Because what I'm hoping is that once we start getting the job extension for Volume 2's level grind, if we end up doing that, we'll have not just the Edge Punisher weapon, but we'll probably have some much better, what's it called? It's called something. Oh yeah, skills. We have much wider range of skills for the Twin Blade. Because I was thinking, oh yeah, I could just go ahead and use, you know, the skills to, you know, quickly dispatch these enemies. Well, sadly, Gale Blade is single target, and the other abilities are just not wide enough. Like, Sword Dance does have a little bit of range to it, but it's, you have to be very precise when you use it. And then there's that few seconds of delay between the attacks. Because I know, like, the higher the skill level, the more that these other skills have a much better range. A lot of them AoE, you know, stuff like that. Because I'm thinking, like, the Edge Punishers, I think it's like Armor Pierce is a wide range attack. Something like that. I'm trying to think. I can't really remember all the skills on the top of my head for the Twin Blade. I just know that the Edge Punisher does have a lot of skills due to the range of the Greatsword itself. Excuse me. There we go. Return feather. Honestly, I'm so glad I decided to pick these up. I'm trying to walk back to the warp. It can be a pain sometimes. I'm surprised some of the other NPCs actually don't have these feathers in their inventory. I mean, they might be more common in Volume 2, but like, the only way, at least from what I've seen so far, that you actually get return feathers is by trading them, buying them off of the manicure. Which, hey, truth of the name, they're definitely helping out a bit. Excuse me. Boop. 130. I mean, we're definitely getting a lot of experience pretty fast here. Like, take away the 6 minutes of, you know, the intro, and we are pretty much getting about, what is it, like 100 experience every 15 minutes? Something like that? Yeah, because we started at 32 experience, or at least, I think, like, close to it. So, yeah. 100 experience per 15 minutes. Yeah, provided we actually don't have to chase down these goblins. Yeah, the goblins just move around way too much. I know they're pretty weak, but still. They just move around too much. I mean, sometimes I could get lucky with the double kill, but other times they're just like scatter about. And that's what's causing a good portion of the time loss. Alright. And a boop. Boop. And a boop. Alright, return, brother. Alright, back to Makadoo. Oop, almost went to the wrong area. Nope, we have to stay in peaceful leading freedom. I swear, I've been in this dungeon more times than pretty much most people have ever. Like, most people when they go through this game, they only go through this dungeon once, and then just never go back. Here I am, trying to, you know, exceed every single attempt that has ever been made in this particular dungeon. And yeah, I'm a little bit crazy for doing this, but I think it'll be worth it at the end. I definitely will be taking a break from this type of stream when we do finish this challenge up. Because obviously, like, 70 plus hours of this is just crazy. But I do think it'll be worth it in the end. Besides, we are almost done anyway. Like, we got 10 levels left. You know, 10 levels out of the 50 that we need. Less than 10,000. Like, that is just crazy. That we've been doing this so long that we are coming close to the end of it. I mean, so far there's really no other twin blade progression markers that we can get. Like, I've been using like the equipment as a sign of our progression, like changing the twin blade weapons as we go along. So far, I think this one that I have is the highest I can get in Makanu, or at least this early in the game. So, I think once we start getting to level 50, we'll definitely have to pick up a level 50 weapon. You know, if there is a level 50 weapon, at least close to it. Okay, I think the only other weapon higher than this is probably the one you get in the ceremony after the Demon Palace tournament. So that will be our final, you know, progression marker. You know, as a, I guess you could say, a trophy of our success. Do 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 do. Excuse me. Good, another tornado. We could always use those. Another health drink. Man, I can't tell you how many of these health drinks that I have sold throughout this entire thing. They're definitely not worth a whole lot of money. Like, I think like a whole stack of them is about like, what, 900s? Or close to it? Something like that. Yeah, still coming up with a little bit of a sickness. But, you know, I'll get through it. I'll be alright. Boop and a boop. Da da da. boop, and a boop. Womp. Try to get a drink of tea while we're on the way. Oh man, I did get a sneak attack. It's okay though. You know, one of these days I want to talk about the element system in this game, because it's really not as useful as in the original set of games. Because don't get me wrong, it looks like we're doing decent damage. I mean, the fact that we're doing, like, what is that, 15% more damage with this, it really doesn't amount to too much considering the average damage. Like, if we're on the same level as these enemies, would be, maybe you're getting 2 or 3 additional damage, and then maybe a little bit more if they're weak to that sort of element, you know? Excuse me. Yeah. Yeah, elements were definitely big in IMOC, whereas this one, not so much. Like, you could go through the entire game without equipping any of these element augments. I mean, it might help in certain situations, but for the most part, you can just go right through them without needing them. Or pretty much any of the, I guess you could say common attack augments, like applying poison or curse, you know. I would say poison is probably more effective for, I guess, low-level challenge runs, because, like, once you're able to poison an enemy, yeah, it deals 1 damage a tick, which I think it's like 60 damage per minute or something like that, you know. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it definitely adds up over time. That's less damage that you need to do overall. Curse, however, is a pretty situational augment, as it's really only effective in the arena, and even then, once you start getting into volumes 2 and 3, that -1 you know, SP per second really doesn't matter too much when, like, the opponents have hundreds of SP. I mean, it might be fine, like, if, you know, for stalling out, I guess, long battles in the arena, but even then, you know, Curse is really not all that great. Maybe as a counter, you know, for armor, maybe, but not so much for weapons. 205 experience. Alright, time to return. Womp 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 womp. Oops. But yeah, we are definitely getting there, that's for sure. I believe in us. I believe that we can do this. Yeah, even if these enemies did fight back, they're only doing 1 damage, and I did notice that, like, once enemies start dealing 1 damage, like, you really can't be staggered by them anymore. I mean, I'm not sure if that applies to all damage that is under a certain threshold, but I know that, like, once you start taking, like, the single digits, you just can't be staggered anymore, which might be helpful in some cases. Oh god, not this early. I can't be on this early. Do. Dun. Whoa. And boop. Alright, let's do this. Let's go. 2 swords? Yeah, we got the 2 swords. So what is everyone's predictions for how long this challenge is going to end at? Are we going to end at 100 hours? Maybe 90? Honestly, I'm thinking, given the levels, like 2 hours a stream, we're at 72 right now. We just need 10 levels, so 20 hours. I think we will be able to finish this within the 92-hour mark. Which, honestly, it's nice that, you know, we'll be able to complete this done in 20 hours, but at the same time, I was really hoping for that clickbait thumbnail title where, be like, oh, I spent 100 hours doing this, and I probably could still, like, when I make the video about this, I could probably still say, oh, I spent 100 hours minus, you know, minus 8. Yeah, it's a sort of joke or something. Where are you? Get over here. Get over here! These goblins just run all over the place. Ooh boy. Oh me. Oh my. Oh my. Da da da. Da 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 da. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry about that. I know. I'm a very professional streamer. Oof, man. I don't know what's up with me today. And da da da. Boop. Boop. And boop. And boop. Alright, we're about a fourth of the way to level 4. I hate it when that happens! Gosh dang it! Oh, I hate it when I get a new item and then my quick cursor just hovers over that item. Ah. Okay. Gosh dang it. I'm so used to hitting return feather with this. Excuse me. Oh boy. Bloop. 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 Really? Oh boy. Oh boy. So yeah, the next video that I plan on working on will be the grunty racing for IMOC, and then I think assuming that we don't reach 1,000 subscribers after the grunty video, I'll probably be doing the doppelganger video next, because there are some things I do want to talk about in regards to the doppelganger that is just so mysterious about it. Like, the doppelgangers don't really act like regular enemies. I mean, they can warp across the areas to the general location that you are. Not to mention, they copy any equipment that you are equipping. You know, not to mention with all their extra bonuses. And even the names of the equipment that they drop. You know, like the key items and like the actual names of the weapon hinds. Ah. So, I really hate this controller sometimes. Because it just sometimes just doesn't want to work. There we go. It just sometimes doesn't want to work. So. Boop. Boop. Hey, we got another tornado. But yeah, like there's just so much about the doppelganger that is just so mysterious that I do want to dedicate an entire video to it. Not to mention, outside of like videos about where to locate it, there's really not much discussion on it. Because like I said, like there's not, they don't act like, they do not act like regular enemies, and you know, I don't want to say too much on it because there is potential spoilers on it, but like they, like in terms of like story stuff, like they appear at the very end of the GU story, but like they can copy Haseo's equipment, you know, down to the effect. They get regen, a 75% damage negation. It is just, they are just pretty nuts in terms of their capabilities, and like they appear so early in the story if you know how to locate them. Because when you're in a field, they will never appear in a dungeon. But when you're in the fields, like if you're in there for at least 5 minutes without doing a battle, they will appear and hunt down Haseo. And it's always Haseo too. Like it's like outside of one exception towards the end of the story, it's always resembling Haseo, which honestly could be foreshadowing to the end of Redemption, which I think that is kind of an interesting attention to detail if it is. And bum bum dun dun dun. Womp. Womp 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 womp. Almost at 300 experience. Isn't that nice? Ooh, come on. Around the corner. There we go. Busy. There we go. Ah! It's kind of hard to play the game one-handed. Boop. 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 Whoa, da da da. Clean. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Hope everyone is enjoying themselves. You know, had a pretty easy time. You know, just relaxing, just doing the best you can be. Yeah, it's been a pretty chill day. You can be as well. I am also a bit tired. It has been quite the week. You know, without going into too much detail about what I do, I work outside all day, and it's just been raining non-stop. You know, and me being out there for at least 8 hours a day, that's... Ooh boy, I'm still feeling the effects of all the rain. And tomorrow is probably going to be no different from what I'm seeing on the weather report. Excuse me. Peacefully in freedom. Dun 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 boom boom. Dun dun dun. 316. Oof. Dun 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 dum ba dum bum 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 dun 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 Oh, I almost did it again. I almost hit that fairy orb again. So yeah, like recent games I've been playing, I've been going back and forth between Resident Evil 9, doing the Leon Must Die Forever, you know, extra game, and Slay the Spire 2. I'm currently on Ascension 4, currently, with the characters that I have for that game. I've also been very into Dissidia Dueling, you know, the mobile game that Square released not that long ago. Honestly, it's really shaping up to be a great game, you know? Especially since Sephiroth is planned to come out here in a couple of days. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, but in terms of like new games that are coming out, you know, I'm not entirely too sure what I want to do. Like, or what games I want to try out. Because I'm trying to think of what all is coming out here real soon that we know it's going to be coming out. I haven't been keeping too many tabs on the newest game releases here. I do want to try Solasta 2, the D&D 5e game that, you know, excuse me. So I've played the original Crown of the Mad like years ago. Really enjoyed that. And Solasta 2 looks like it's really shaping up to be, I don't know if it's going to be on par with something like Baldur's Gate, but I do think it's going to be more role accurate with how it's portrayed with the grid type battle system. The grid type system like that. Let's see, what other games? What other games have I've taken a look at that I'm interested in trying out? I've also been looking at some other games. I do want to eventually play some GameCube games for the channel. I just need to actually get them. I'm actually thinking of the Pokemon KeyToDarkness, because I've never actually got around to playing that. Oop. Let's see, what else? Wind Waker is also a pretty fun game. Definitely want to give that a try one time. I did watch a playthrough like years ago of that game. Never really got to experience it myself. Excuse me. I also know Twilight Princess, I think, is on the GameCube as well, so might end up trying to get like GameCube stuff for that. What else? Like, in terms of these older games, I really need to actually sit through and just see what's all that I want to give a try. You know, especially for the channels. Because I like trying to have like some of these newer, not just the newer games, but the more obscure ones as well. Yeah, I gotta sit down one time and just kind of, figure out like what's going to be what's gonna be interesting in that? Oh, there actually is this PSP game I've been meaning to try out for the stream. I think it's called like Undead Warrior. It's like Undead Knights or Undead Warriors, something like that. It is this medieval fantasy game where you are a commander of an undead army, creating undead from the people that you slay, and you're going around kind of like a stage by stage, stage by stage gameplay, and trying to reach the boss at the end. Actually, yeah, that actually might be a Free Stream Friday option. Now that I think about it. Yeah, if I could see that I still have that game, I'll definitely put it on next Free Stream Friday. It won't be this coming one because we're doing the other result, the Final Fantasy IV randomized Nuzlocke. And we're continuing with that. But in terms of like what else we could try, I think we have yet to finish Gladiator Begins. I think we still need to finish that. Also .hack Link. Because we were in the middle of Link, we just never got around to finish it. I'm thinking I might start a new playthrough, just so that way we can just stay consistent with what we're doing for the Wednesday streams. Because we're gonna be doing like, we're gonna be finishing Amok, then GU, the PS2 version, mind you. Like, as much as I like Last Recode, I do want to try to get the authentic experience of how I ended up playing it, you know, back in 2000 and I want to say like 2010. You know, just like the PS2 version. Yes, it's going to have a lot of quirks to it that are going to be frustrating, but, you know, it's going to be nice going back to the PS2 version of the game. It just seemed like what all has changed from that, you know? And then we got .hack Link, we're gonna restart over, and then I'm trying to think. I mean, if there's a way I can get versus, then I'll probably try that, like .hack versus, because actually that does look interesting. I don't know if it's gonna be good, but it's like an arena. I hope I'm using this word right. Like arena fighter .hack game. It actually does sound pretty interesting. Though some of the character models do look kind of weird. Yeah, Bandai really should release a lot of these other .hack games, like, and just dub it. You know, especially with .hack Zero's release, it would be nice just to see like some of these other games ported over. Now, I'm not expecting iMock itself to be ported anytime soon, but you know, Link and Versus, you know, port to modern consoles, you know, allow people to try out these games, especially since Link is technically the final mainline game in the .hack series. Not a lot of people got to experience that as well. I would say properly localize it, give it an English dub, and then just kind of go from there. Whoa. Sound like those. Sound like those swords now. Honestly, I bet recording these monster noises were pretty fun. Whoop. Excuse me. Dun. Boom. 424. 424 experience. Excuse me. Oh, man, excuse me. Oh, man, my posture is bad. I need to work on my posture a bit. Maybe that's what's making me sleepy. At least I'm sitting up straight. Oh, there we go. There's the ads timer popping up. Alright, we got 5 minutes before ads are needed. Womp. Ah. And a boop. 442. Yeah, we can probably get through this dungeon run before the ads start. Ah, beans. Maybe if I, do that, it probably won't. Ah. Warp. Ah. Ding. Ooh, excuse me. So sorry. Man, I don't know what's up with me today. Boop. Boop. And a boop. Alright, 463. Alright guys, we have ads coming up, so why don't you go get yourself a snack and a nice little drink, and we'll be right back after these messages and after I get these enemies. There we go. So, we're gonna be right back guys, go ahead and take yourselves a break. Alright, friends, we are back. Let's go ahead and continue, shall we? Oh, your attacks in a row. Oops. It's okay. We're back. Continue onward. Boom boom boom. Dee-dee-ding. And boop. Boop. And a boop. And a boop. Whoa, 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 whoa. Doop, ba-doop. Alright, we're almost halfway there. It was halfway to 1,000. Alright, this should get us past the 500 experience. There we go, 502. We're a little over halfway there. Oh boy. It has been quite a night, friends. It has been something. I'm most certainly looking forward to my vacation in July. Because I just need myself a little bit of rest from work, you know. I do want to be more consistent with uploading videos. You know, but I don't know. I've just been really tired here as of late. Maybe if YouTube and Twitch end up becoming like decent options for income, maybe I'll probably dedicate more time to it and just kind of like cut back on my hours at work. But that probably won't be for a good while now. Still, I can't believe it was coming so close to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's crazy to even think about that. I mean, we've been kind of fluctuating between like, only needing 3 and only needing 5. We're just kind of going back and forth on, you know, like 995 and 997. We're just I'm so looking forward you know, hitting that 1,000 marker, because I got a special video for you guys that I have just kind of like in mind that I want to make to celebrate it. You know, like I said, I think it was like in the last stream, it's going to be a more personal stream, like talking about .hack and just kind of how, like, I guess how it resonates with me. I've made a couple videos so far about how .hack resonates with a lot of people, you know, and like, especially in today's time, but this one, I think it's going to be more focused on why I think .hack is good, and just kind of like giving you guys a reason as to why I like some of the things in this game. You know, it probably won't be, what you guys think? Not sure if I should script the video or not, or just kind of go through it. Like, the last few videos I've just been just kind of like speaking, you know, like I am now. Just kind of like talking to you guys as if, you know, you're right there. You know, I haven't been doing too much scripting here as of late. I guess for a video as big as this, I probably should script, but we'll see. We'll see when we cross that bridge. Because we've got plenty of videos in mind. Now, I don't think I can make too many Zero videos at the moment because we don't have any information on it. However, Summer Games Fest is around the corner, so I'm hoping to hear something there. Because, I mean, if there's any time to release any news about any new games, it would probably be Summer Games Fest, you know? I do hope we get more information on Zero soon so that I can just kind of go into more detail about that. Oh, isn't that nice? Okay, I'm not even joking with you guys. So over on Twitch, like every single stream, there's always bots. You know, like just coming around doing their thing, just trying to be real sneaky. You know, you could get AI viewers, you can get, you know, this thing and that thing, but no, just, man, the bots are terrible over on Twitch. And then what funny timing, because my Windows Defender saying, oh, you didn't find any threats on your computer. You're just at the same time, so I'm just kind of, kind of funny timing on that. Ding. Boop, boop, boop. Firestorm. Thank goodness for SiriBot though. SiriBot is pretty cool. Like, if you guys ever do plan on doing any streaming yourselves on Twitch, definitely get SiriBot. They will definitely handle some of the more malicious bots that come into the stream. Da 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 da. Oh boy. Da da dun da 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 dun. Oh, yeah, this week, hopefully this week is going to be pretty easy. Got a lot of things going on this week. I've got work in D&D Sunday, and then Monday we've got the Kingdom Hearts streams where we're finally getting into Dream Drop Distance. We're finishing up Recode and going into Dream Drop Distance. We're doing more Outbreak, Without Heck Outbreak on Wednesday, and then Free Stream Friday we're doing the other result, which will be Final Fantasy. Okay. All right. Oh boy. Oh, okay. Gotta stretch. Gotta do my stretches. Whew. Man. Stretching's always good, friends. Like if you're doing something for long hours at a time, you just gotta get yourself stretched out. You know, relax. Or, I mean, just kind of make sure you're moving around every now and then. Da da da. Da, 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 da. We're doing this and doing that. But yeah. I've got some good things in store for the channels. I do eventually want to do an overhaul on the Twitch side of things, but just kind of like the visual outlook of like the band, just kind of like the interface stuff. Because I haven't really been doing too much on the visuals over on Twitch. I'm still using like a lot of the old banners that are over there. I really need to get onto that. And I might just do a little bit of a overhaul on the banner on the YouTube side of things as well. You know, while I'm at it. So yeah, I hope everyone is having a good night. I hope everyone is doing well. Every single one of you, those listening in now and those listening in the future. You know, we can't forget about the people of the past too. If somehow you're watching this in the past, you know, don't know how that works, but hope you're doing well as well. Dun dun dun. Ding. And a boop. And a boop. We're so close to 600 experience. Ding. Da 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 da. 601. Just need less than 400 experience now for this level up. Hooray! Da 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 da. The fairy orb. Pi and Goon are still just waiting for me to get to that area. Well, joke's on them. We're not going to that area just yet. We're going back to peaceful leading freedom. Pretty crack. Boy. Da 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 da. Da 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 dun 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 dun. Da da dun. Hey Bee-Boo! How's it going? Hello! Oh my god, finally catch your stream. Yes, hello! Hi! It has been quite a while. How are you doing, Bee-Boo? I hope everything's going well for you, my friend. Yes, it has been quite a while since you've been on the streams, and guess what? We are in the final stretches of this challenge. You keep getting sick. No! You're not allowed to get sick, Bee-Boo. You're supposed to be healthy all the time. Yes, we are 10 levels left of this challenge. And as you can see from the stats above, we are 72 hours into this challenge, and we just need less than 10,000 experience in order to complete it. I'm so excited to see the end of this. Not to say that, you know, this challenge is, I mean, look, it's a grind, but like we are so close to being the first to complete a challenge like this for Dot Hack. And honestly, I am looking forward to that excitement. I know, wifey is mad. I keep getting sick about the amount of wonton noodles she has to make me. Well, I mean, are you getting enough nutrients? Are you eating all your leafy greens? You know, eating all the proper fruits and vegetables? You know, maybe work a little bit of protein here and there. Yes, I know, 72 hours. Like, my prediction is that we'll finish this challenge in 92 hours. Given that each stream is about 2 hours, it'll probably be closer to 64, or 64, what am I saying? 94 hours when we finish, but it's definitely going to be under 100 hours. That's for sure. But yeah, Bibu, I mean, I hope you get better. Yeah, I hope that you find some way to get better. She's making me. And look, just think of it this way. If you eat a lot of vegetables and, good foods now, you'll develop a good taste for them, and then, you're gonna want more fruits, vegetables, and vitamins, I'm telling you, your wife, she's taking good care of you. She's making sure that you're in tip-top condition. I know, sometimes, we don't want to eat the healthiest food because it either tastes bland or, it gets repetitive. She's taking care of her always sick wifey. Well, that just means she loves you. And that's what's important. Like, she's making sure that you are in tip-top condition, and that is top wife material right there, She cares about you that much, and that's all you can ask for, right? Yes. So don't worry. She's gonna take care of you. You also gotta put in the effort to get yourself better. Because there's plenty of things to do for when you are healthy and, this stuff. And I know I'm kind of a hypocrite. I'm a little bit unhealthy myself. But, I've been taking steps to, make sure that I'm in a good place. I walk so much every single day. With the exception of me being off, that is. Have you been, though? I have been... Whew. The interview, I've been pretty tired here as of late. Well, first and foremost, we are so close to 1,000 subscribers, so that's got me excited over YouTube. Let's see here. I've also, let's see, what other accomplishments have we been doing? Oh yeah, by the way, Bibu, I don't know if you've heard, but Dot Hack 0, a new Dot Hack game, just got announced a couple months ago. Yes, all of us in the community are pretty excited. Yes, Dot Hack 0, it's here. Honestly, it's so exciting because I started doing Dot Hack content. Yes, I was screaming. Yeah, I was screaming too. In fact, I have... I don't know, if you've seen my video reaction of the Zero trailer, but... Just the fact that it is here. That, I started the channel because there was no... Okay, I don't want to say there was no Dot Hack content. Dot Hack Network has been putting in a lot of legwork to keep the community afloat, but... I think I actually did see that. Yeah, I mean, I knew it was going to be a Dot Hack game. Judging by the release time, 807, I mean, that's, it's kind of on the nose with that. But not to mention, for me, it looks like it's going to be a story reboot of IMOC. That's kind of my prediction based on what we see. Because we've got a Kite stand-in with the Twilight bracelets. We've got Scapes 1, Aura coming back that gives him the Twilight bracelet. We've got Balmont and Black Rose in an open field that looks to be corrupted in the same manner as in IMOC. I just think, we're going to get a retold version, a new version of the IMOC story, but with some added elements. A proper reboot of the series. And honestly, not only would it be a safe bet to redo the IMOC story, but with that would be great. Yeah, because a lot of people have been asking for a dot hack remake for a long while, because you know the original games, like people still love the original games, and a lot of people still want to try those out. I just think it makes a lot of sense if they did redo the original story, but retell it in the way that they wanted to, because like back in the early days of the PlayStation, you've had the gameplay limitations of the system. You've had like the publisher Bandai just kind of making sure that things are, you know, the way that they want it. Like, of course, the censorship as well. So that's another thing. Like, Skate's wand is not the wand that we see in the localized version. That is Skate's original wand that looks like the Celtic cross. So, are we going to be seeing more of these, like, Celtic, or just kind of like Gaelic, what's it called, like, imagery and references in this? Because, yeah, it just seems as though, like, at least from what I've seen so far with the interviews, CyberConnect has full control over this project. Funding, marketing, everything in regard to Zero. The only thing that Bandai stipulated that they can't do is we're so excited, we're hugging all the chimps, yes. Honestly, will we see the Chim Chimps make a return with this new iteration of the series? A Project Dusk is being called. And that's kind of interesting to hear, because because the original conglomerate, yes, please and grunties, yes, but which grunties? Now, what do we want? The cow grunties or the pig assistant grunties? That's a cute difference right there. Are we going to get both, or are the pig grunties going to be like the giant pig cow grunty things going to be called something else? You know? I'm just saying, like, if you're going to redo the series like this, I think, like, having those older elements come back in one way or another would, like, definitely please the longtime fans. I wouldn't mind, like, the wide open field of us riding the old grunties again, but I would also like to see, like, the personalized grunty assistant in GU, you know, like, Death Grunty, Mellow Grunty, you know, that sort of thing, you know? I also want to see, like, a revamped combat system that is very similar to this. I would love to see both. Let us go to the area that they're from. Yes, exactly. Yes, yes, I want to see, like, an entire, like, I mean, I want to see both. Imagine a grunty, like, GU grunty, riding a IMOC grunty. I think that would be hilarious to see in something like Zero. But also, like, here's another thing. Is Zero going to be open field, like in IMOC, or is it going to be GU's island-based areas? Honestly, I do hope, like, with the technology that they have, that they do bring back open scale fields again, and just kind of go from there. And especially the, you know, the keyword system. Like, they gotta bring back the keyword system, like, for Zero. I cannot see a mainline .hack game that just does not have us go into random areas. Like, these procedurally, I'm hoping I'm using the word right, procedurally generated, yes, you agree, yes. Like, these procedurally generated areas where, like, various, like, objectives, not just, like, killing the boss or, attaining a trophy. I want to see, like, different objectives. Like, maybe finding a lost grunty, or perhaps, you know, just, like, your typical MMO stuff. Oh, you know, if you really want to go, like, the simplicity route, hey, collect sphere of this item, which GU kind of does as well in their quests, but not necessarily for, like, general area exploration, you know? Let's see. In terms of what else I want to see for Zero, I highly doubt this is going to be a thing, but I do want to see a fragment mode, like whether we are able to do it from the start or after we beat the main story. I want to see a mode where we can create our own The World characters and just kind of explore, you know, the world. and just kind of like play the game as if we were playing it ourselves, you know? And I know that's kind of a weird thing to say because we're technically playing it ourselves, but not as Kite, but as our own characters, you know? Because I think they've got a lot of potential there. And even if they don't do that, I'm hoping someone in the modding scene will take a look at Zero and the gameplay systems and be like, hey, why don't we go ahead and create a separate mode where you guys can create, you know, your own thing? Because that's totally something I see the modding community doing. Especially since, like, I think, like, here's the thing. CyberConnect played around with this idea with Fragments, where you can create your own character. So, like, they've had this idea in the back of their minds for a long time. So, just something tells me that again, it's just a hunch. I have no proof that says otherwise. But I do hope they add something like that later down the line, or an optional mode or something that allows you to create your own character. Because, like, in a game series like .hack set in an MMO, like, it doesn't have to be like an online MMO experience. Like, it could still be the offline MMO stuff. Like, maybe co-op if you really want to have like a multiplayer aspect of it. But oh man, a multiplayer .hack game would actually sound kind of nice. Like you and your friends go into the areas. Wouldn't that be fun? Honestly, the game is perfect for making our own character. Yes, exactly. And even if CyberConnect doesn't do that, I think the modding scene would want to try it out. Especially since, like, newer games are a lot... I don't know much about the modding scene, but I imagine newer games are... Let me PK my friends. Yes, exactly. Let's go... Yeah, that's another thing. Let's have arena battles. Let's go and do PvP as our own characters, you know? Let's go into adventures and find other party members that we can... Like, if you want to go with the online route, let's have actual PK battles in the fields, you know? And even if it's not online, just like NPC groups that you encounter. Maybe that they are PKs, or maybe they're just regular players. You have the option of attacking them for either their loot, or perhaps, like, if you really wanted to bring back data drain in some way, maybe their character, you know, stuff, like being able to change the classes on the dot. You know, people, let me get your idea. Let me go ahead and ask you something about this suggestion. How do you feel about Zero, like, in data drain's mechanics where, like, in order to get access to other classes and other class features, you would have to data drain players with that class. So, for example, say that you are a level 10, I don't know what the class is going to be for Zero, but let's say Edge Punisher, and you're Twin Blade. Say Kite ends up data draining a player. Look, I know, data drain is a big no-no. You don't data drain players, but considering how dark, like, the game is shaping up to be, just imagine you as Kite are data drain players in order to unlock other class features, you know, and depending on the strength of that, you know, character, you'll be able to get much higher abilities and much higher things. Yes, that would be wild, yeah. Sort of like a pseudo job system where your main class is a Twin Blade, but you have like a quote-unquote subclass that you can just get from data draining characters. Like, you're creating your own illegal, I'd say illegal, but you're creating your own custom class in a way, where you're using the data from other classes to just be this force of nature. Or even if that's not the case, just imagine just taking other, maybe just creating copies of another player's weapons, so that way you can go ahead and give them to your party members, or perhaps even you, like having some kind of morale system where, oh yeah, you can go and data drain this player, but that might contribute to the corruption of the Twilight Bracelet. Or since he's data draining characters, he could give them access to illegal abilities in those classes. Exactly. Or maybe even just like a mix match of them. So say that Kite has a Twin Blade ability, and then, like, say, I'm going to use Harvest Cleric as an example. Say this Kite data drains a Harvest Cleric's, you know, I guess poison spell. Imagine being able to apply poison to your own skills, like a sort of glitched amalgamation of skills, you know, that you can equip or unequip, you know? I think that might be fun. Or perhaps, like, even for, like, armor abilities, like, you end up draining a player that has a very unique, yeah, that would be cool. Like, it has a very unique, like, armor ability that you want for yourself, so you potentially data drain them, revert them to level 1, you take their ability, and then, like, the ideas are limitless here, and I'm hoping Summer Games Fest will reveal more about what Zero is going to be, you know? Because there's just so much we don't know about it. Reverting them to level 1 would be diabolical. True, but at the same time, that kind of goes back to my morale kind of idea. So if you data drain players and revert them to level 1, or, like, worst case scenario, give them the Haseo treatment, yes. Give them the Haseo treatment. Like, or if you really want to have, like, consequences for your actions, if you do data drain players, maybe that could be part of the story where, like, your kite has to choose between data draining players, potentially putting them in a coma, or you refrain from using it and essentially just trying to solve the issues without using data drain. And then, like, have different endings corresponding with how you reacted using the Twilight Bracelet. Yeah, different routes for different endings. Exactly. That is what I'm saying. Just, like, the because... Okay, I'm kind of flip-flopping here. So, we see at the end of Zero's trailer that Kite is looking down at a Black Rose and Balma. Like, we don't know their names as well, but just imagine, like, and then the Twilight Bracelet reacts. This character is in pain. He is forced to use data drain on them. Now, granted, again, it could be a trailer shot, but that kind of gives me the idea that there might be some kind of morale system when it comes to the infection rating. Okay, so yeah, let's just say the infection rating comes back. And then, like, they still keep the same system where you gain infection the more you use it. So, what if instead of, you know, you getting an instant game over, like, you're getting all of, you just slowly accumulate more and more infection, and that determines your ending, you know? Where, like, there's only a limited amount of resources that could limit or lower the infection rating, and so you really have to pick and choose your battles to use data drain. And honestly, I'm hoping that they don't bring back the virus core system, because as much as I like the idea of gate hacking, like, just being able to collect hundreds of cores just to progress the story, I think would be a massive, I think that would be a massive, roadblock for a lot of people. So if they just kept the infection rating to just, like, the amount of uses, and maybe there's a certain glitched item that can lower it temporarily, but they're so finite in resources, you know, up until the end game, of course. And then that way, you know, you will have to pick and choose, like, do you want to use data drain and get real powerful while at the same time risking a bad ending? Or do you play the game normally and only using data drain when you absolutely need to? Like, we already seen that the waves are going to be coming back. Not only do we see Scave's wand in the trailer, but we also see the email exchanges, like, say something like, don't stir up the waves. Meaning that, you know, the cursed waves, the entire, like, Morgana's pantheon. You know, I don't know how else to describe them, but yeah, it's just like, and that's another thing. Like, are we going to be able to fight the waves, or maybe we create the waves ourselves? Like, if this dark aura, which I'm going to be calling her Morgana because something in the back of my mind just kind of leads me to believe that this evil aura is actually Morgana, you know? Because here's my evidence to back up my statement that this like, black-clothed aura is actually Morgana, because it would not be the first time that .hack described aura as, or not aura, Morgana as looking like aura. And Four Cross, I believe it's called. It's like, I hope I'm pronouncing the title of the .hack property right, but it's like 4 X's, XXXX, or 4 Cross, I think it's called. there's a still image of Morgana looking like a much taller, lankier Aura with deadpan eyes. So it wouldn't be the first time that they made an evil Aura that is actually Morgana. And not to mention, Morgana is actually mentioned in, Yes, You'd Love, yes. Also, Morgana was mentioned in one of the art pieces. There's 2 new characters that are going to be introduced in Zero that say something, like they're about to enter like this very old, beat up car, and the one guy says something about like this older car is not, like, Morgana's not going to be able to tamper with this. So Morgana's name was directly mentioned in that artwork. I mean, it is in my latest video if you want to see it, but basically they mention Morgana by name. So she's making a return in some form or another. And it's not Morgana mode gone. Like, they didn't say the full thing. They just said Morgana. So is it going to be Morgana the same Morgana, or at least a very similar Morgana to what we see in Sign? Or is this going to be like a new version of her that someone ends up creating or recreating? Because the fact that, there's just so much like first era .hack references within this trailer, Like, so let's just go ahead and count off them. You've got 3 characters that look exactly like, well, maybe not exactly like in terms of like the main character, because this new kind looks different enough that it seems to be his own character. But you've got a Black Rose and Balmond look that honestly do look almost 1-for-1 of their original character designs. Then you've got, there is the area that we see this new kite run through that looks awfully similar to the dungeon and Bursting Pass over Aquafield. Like, I don't know if you caught that, Bibu, but the wall paintings in the dungeon as this new kite is running out of it, those same wall paintings look very similar to the ones we see in IMOC. Though they're less, like rounded and more just kind of like triangular in shape. I don't know how else to describe it. But also Scapes wand, although this is bound in chains, so either someone is keeping the waves at bay, hence the quote, "Don't stir up the waves," but I think there's also, after we watch it again, there's like so many little details in the Zero trailer that are just like it's not noticeable initially because a lot of it goes pretty fast, but actually now that I think about it, like, okay, so in Zero's trailer, like with the Scapes wand, you do see a white feather transforming into a black feather. And just before that, we see Aura proper. She's got the same white hair, the infinity brooch, but, as far as I'm aware, I don't think I saw Morgana wear the infinity brooch, or it's very hidden because of the dark clothing. But still, something tells me that Aura is going to be corrupted. Like, there's 2 sides of the ultimate AI, it seems like. It's going to be Aura and then Morgana, so it seems. But, like, there's just so many tiny details about it. Like, and one of the, email exchanges that are on screen, I think it's the first one, with the red and black background. They talk about, at the very end, "Don't stir up the waves." Like, I don't know if that's the proper translation. It is just the ones that I have access to. But, like, you will see at the end, like, "Don't stir up the waves," or "Don't rile up the waves," or something like that. And then, like, there's also, like, text exchanges, like, to the right that kind of look like a bit smashed. They don't seem like they're following any sort of cohesive conversation or anything like that. But it's just like the details of Zero itself. The animation looks very smooth. Like, one of my main criticisms of Volume 4 of this, this collection is that Volume 4's animation looked pretty rough. It looked nice. It looked very nice, but, like, being at, 15 frames a second, it felt kind of choppy, which is why I'm glad to see Zero just have more smoothed out animations and just it looks a lot nicer, and they've come a long way since 2017. And then I'm trying to think what else, what other details that I've noticed. So we also have another coma victim, you know, that is probably going to be the main protagonist's best friend, or someone that he knows, which is probably why, like, he has some kind of like maybe reason to try to stay within the world. But the thing is that in the original story in IMOC, Aura doesn't give Pike the Twilight Bracelet. I mean, Aura gives the Book of the Twilight to Orca, but Orca ends up getting data drained by Skaith, and then the book ends up going to Kite. So that maybe Aura just kind of gives Kite the book. It's kind of hard, just kind of hard to say. I think she does, like, indirectly, but in Zero trailer, she just more or less forcefully reprograms Kite's character to have the bracelet attached to his wrist. So, not to mention, like, this data drain that we see doesn't seem like the data drain that we all know. It seems very corrupted, like, using it will definitely damage the user in some way. Like, it's a very dangerous version of data drain. Like, probably more than what we've seen so far. But, let's see, what else about the Zero trailer? So, in terms of when I think it's going to be released, I do think it's going to release either late this year, like maybe 4th quarter. I know I'm kind of like jumping back and forth on my predictions on when it's going to come out. Either late this year, like towards the end of the year, or early 2027. Yeah, right now. Yeah, we need it right now. Yes, we need .hack 0 released right now. I know, I'm coping. Hey, you know what? You know what, Bee-Boo? It's okay to cope, because a lot of us have been coping for a long time that, yes, we need it. Yes, we need it. A lot of us have been coping about .hack for a long time. You know, like, before the trailer got released, I was talking with some people over at Reddit. Like, some people were just saying, "Oh, you're just coping. You're crazy." Like as much as we want to believe that .hack's going to come out, it's never going to come out. Yeah, this isn't .hack. And lo and behold, I had a feeling it was going to be .hack, and it turned out to be it. Literally, we've been waiting and hailing every hopium in existence, and guess what? It's that hopium that kept this series alive. You know? Like, with the efforts of the community, you know, we've managed to get enough attention and provide enough funding to, yes, we have manifested, yes, we, as the .hack community, kept the series alive. We have given Bandai and CyberConnect enough reason to continue the series. While CyberConnect has always wanted to do another .hack game, like, I think they wanted to do it right. Like, they wanted to do it on their own terms, which is why they have this special agreement, where Bandai has very, very, very little control over it. Like, the only thing that they have control over is the original properties, as the stipulation for Zero is that they cannot use any of the previous material for the story, like what's already established. So they can't just make a direct sequel to the previous games, IMOC, GU, or Link. But this is a starting from scratch story. So if this is a story, like if this is just like a new timeline or new story reboots, you know, as I said before, then this is going to be the start of a new era of .hack properties. I mean, will we also see an anime? Honestly, I would love to see a new .hack anime, like in this day and age, that just kind of manifest itself, you know? Because if it's going to be another, like, I don't know if I'm using this word right, but a conglomerate where it's just like multimedia type of thing. Like, I think it would make sense to have like some kind of like sister companion to the games in some way, shape, or form. whether it be a anime, a manga series. I think it would make sense to help promote the games and vice versa, if they do have all these different types of things. And then if Zero actually does well, who knows? We might actually have it, like, oh, I'm geeking out over this. Because the possibilities for what we can expect in Zero are limitless at this point. As far as I'm aware, like, I don't know much about game creation, but games these days are getting much easier to produce and make, with some exceptions depending on how much level of detail you want to go into things. But like, we have the technology to create anything and everything we want in the manner that is going to be entertaining for both the creators and the players. So there is really no limit as to what they could do for the world and .hack as a whole. And just like, there's just so much that they could do with this series. And like, even if the game is not like a masterpiece, as I'm kind of hyping it up to be, I think the fact that it even exists has given a lot of people reasons to just keep on just talking about the series, you know? Because I think Zero's exactly what the community needed. Like, just this new entry to just kind of sink our teeth into. You know, just kind of like speculate and just talk about. And while I am kind of running out of things to talk about with Zero because there's not much, you know I'm definitely going to be making videos on updates regarding the game, because we definitely need to see more before we make any sort of conclusive judgments, you know. But I do hope that Summer Games Fest, you know, this coming up soon, is going to show something Zero related. Because if there's any time to show off like a gameplay trailer, or at least maybe a story expansion trailer, you know, like it shows a little bit more of the story, it would be Summer Games Fest, you know, or Anime Expo, you know, whichever one comes first. But yeah, I'm just trying to think, because going based off of like the other games that they have made, like other games like Fuga, like I can't remember any, like in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. That's another thing. I personally see, like, if they're not going to go with GU style combat, I could definitely see .hack Zero taking some inspiration from Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, since they did make that game as well. Although I wouldn't want them to have like the hyper armor system from that game. Just the idea of like this fast-paced action game where you're using various skills, and you do see the damage numbers, very similar to what we see in GU and everything. I think like wait a minute, what did I say? Dragon Ball? Oh, I meant to say Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Oops. I meant to say Kakarot. What game did I say? Did I say Sparking Zero? Oops, not that game. Yeah, I meant to say Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Yeah, that game. Because they worked on Kakarot, which I think surpassed... Yeah, I know, I got the names wrong. Because I have played Kakarot, I have not played Sparking Zero, but anyway, back on topic. Yeah, because they did so well with Kakarot, they sold 10 million copies with that game, which is surprising. So I do think that, like, the combat's going to be similar. I don't know if it's going to be one for one, because I highly doubt we'll be able to fly through the air. But if we do, sky mounts. Ooh, sky mounts and .hack. Instead of just being limited to just like ground units, imagine traversing the water and the air with, say, the grunties. Ooh, I think that would be so much fun. Ooh. Just being able to just sail with the grunties, or maybe like fly with the grunties, or maybe just other types of transport. Like, if they're still going to go with like the steampunk fantasy kind of vibe, for Zero, which it seems like based off of the outfit of this new kite, it seems like they're going to, it will still be fantasy, but it will have like maybe some steampunk elements, it seems. Like, I do think like they're gonna have like, I want to see sky mounts, you know, and such. Oh boy. So we do have ads coming up, so why don't we go ahead and take ourselves a little break? We'll be right back after these messages. Alright guys, we are back with more level grinding, and I'm not even kidding. As soon as I hit the BR back or BRB screen, my Xbox 360 controller's A button died. But luckily I've got myself another controller. Now, granted, the Xbox One controllers are pretty boosh. They're not great because of the stick drift, but it'll have to do for the remainder of this challenge. So, ooh, yeah, I could definitely feel a difference between this controller and the other. I'm gonna have to get used to this now. Welcome back. Thank you. It's good to be back. I'm glad I'm back. I'm glad to be here. But yeah, we're talking about, yes, we're talking about .hack 0. I am hoping a lot for 0. I'm hoping that we get some news about it soon. I think it's been a few months. You know, the hype has been settled. It will be good if we had some more information about it. Like, Mr. Furoshi, if somehow in the future you're listening to this, I hope you do release more information soon. Because I like your work, I like your games, you know. Hit me up if you want someone to hype up the game. No, I'll be glad to. But yeah, 0 seems like it's going to be, I think it's going to be a good game. Whether it be a great game, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say right now, but judging by the animation quality of this game. Also, we also gotta think about the real world, like not our world, you know, not this world, but the in game real world. Like, how is that going to play out? It's going to play out like similar to Persona, where you're having like most of the social interactions, or is it going to be similar to something like Cyber Sleuth, where you're slowly investigating like the issues of the world outside of the game itself? Because I think it will be nice to see like what the setting of .hack is outside of the world. Not to say that I don't like the world. I love the world. The world's a good place. But I want to see the world, not the world. You know. Because, you know, the real world, I think it's going to be one of the more interesting aspects of the series. Now, it's always been nice to go to the, what's it called? Like the desktop, just to see like world news and everything. But I think now that they don't have the hardware limitations of like the older hardware, I think they are capable of like showing us like what the .hack world actually is, you know? And I'm also just curious as to let's see. Because we know Kite is going to be, like, I'm going to keep calling him Kite until we get a new name. Yeah, I know it's probably not going to, he's not going to be named Kite. He's probably going to be called Kite or something like that. But, I do think that Kite is going to be, a Twin Blade, you know, hence, you know, the thing. Or maybe even another Adept Rogue, if they do decide to adapt that system in 2.0. Ooh, actually, that might be interesting. Think if this Kite is in fact an Adept Rogue as well, maybe, just maybe, will we be able to choose our alternative classes? Like, think about it. Like, the job extensions, quote unquote, will allow us to choose our secondary class. You know? Like, maybe we can get a choice of being something like a Harvest Cleric, where we can heal, or perhaps, you know, we'll focus more on a magic damage dealing Kite. You know, again, I'm going to be calling him Kite until we get an official name, but, you know, still. I think the idea of being able to mix and match classes is going to be a, like, if they do decide to do it, a massive draw to the game if they do decide. Because I love job systems in any sort of game. Because just, especially in like JRPGs, being able to just mix and match various abilities and just learn passives, you know, along the way. And while not a Japanese game, Expedition 33 is a great example of that, where you just take a few battles to permanently learn an ability for everyone, and then just kind of mix and match like your own playstyle with it. Because I think, as much as I like these older games, like, they do have a set class and everything. Just like, it's always Twin Blade. Like, Twin Blade's always like the starter, you know, class. If, you know, or in GU's case, it is just one of 4, technically 5 classes, you know? Whew, I do. Now, will Grunty Racing be back? And the Goblin Tag? Because I can definitely see them doing an updated Goblin Tag. Or maybe Goblin Hide and Seek, who knows? Honestly, Goblin Hide and Seek actually might be funny. You know, like, you're going around this wide open area trying to find them. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't do something like that with the original games. You know, just being able to try to find... Yeah, I can see that happening. Yeah, just kind of like where you're going into this area, you have to find these goblins that are running all over the map. If you try to find them, you have to try to tag them, like, quote-unquote, attack them. In an action combat series, I mean, that could work, you know, just one tap like that, boom, you tag them. They're it. I mean, it's Goblin Tag for a reason, you know, you gotta, you know, we can't make it too difficult like in the original games. Especially Melinda. I think that's what her name was in iMock. Yeah, we can't have Melinda have regen and magic immunity. That's too much. We can't have her have that. But will we also see a return of the quest system? Like, in this game, like, quest system is just, it's serviceable. You know, it definitely allows you to have some, like, side content for some of the other characters. But I want to see an expanded quest type of thing, where, like, when you're in the world, you have, like, these alternate quests for, like, not just story content, but also just, like, side stories. Maybe you unlock, like, other new characters to have in your party. You know, kind of like the original games. Because I think GU kind of missed that opportunity to include more characters via the side quest. And you can kind of say that they do with things like Natsume, but Natsume is tied to the bounty hunting class, and most people didn't even know she was in the game because the bounty hunting quest is kind of long. Because you have to get every single bounty in every single volume leading up to her. Excuse me. Let's see, what else? What else do I see happening? Oh, if Makanu is going to come back, can we get boats? Can we ride the aqueducts, you know, ride through the aqueducts, you know? I want to see... I just want to go through Makanu proper, instead of it being a mostly linear experience. Just have us explore the entire area, you know? Like... I think with the original, like, with iMock, I've always wondered if you were able to, like, get on the boats at some point. But I know, like, look, my imagination playing through the games, you know, especially seeing Sign, you get to ride the boats. Hopefully Zero and Zero's Makanu, if they do have it, let us ride in the boats. Let us sail across different points of the area. You know, instead of just warp points. Don't get me wrong, I like instant transmission, you know, warp points. But there's just something about being able to traverse through a massive home base and just kind of seeing what, no pun intended, the world has in store. You know? And maybe even finding some, like, Easter eggs along the way. Maybe references to Fuga, or perhaps even older .hack games. You know, just, like, minor callbacks. Nothing too... in your face or lore breaking, just be like, maybe you have a character that is similar to Haseo, and maybe he would just be called the Terror of Death. Not death, death. Like maybe he's role-playing as a bounty hunter that can't hear. I don't know. Okay, maybe not that, but just kind of like small references to older games, you know? I'm trying to think. Wait a minute. Here we go. This is level 41. This is level 41. Level 41! Let's go! 41. Heck yeah. We made it to level 41. 9, yeah, slay. We have slain a lot of enemies. We slay so much. Alright, and then we gotta update our numbers when we get back to Makabu. And we'll have 6 experience to start off with when we come back to this challenge. And boop. Alright. It's return feather and get the heck out of here. Boop. Whoomp. Alright, good for the save. Alright, so let's go ahead and update the save. So the time right now is 74 hours. 74 hours, 41 minutes, and 12 seconds. Okay, now let's take a look at the experience we got. Level 41. So my calculator out. Let me see. So right now we need 8,994, I think. Let's see if I'm doing this right. Yeah, because the last experience we had was 9,000. Okay, yeah, so over 100, so 9,000. Give me 1 second. Alright, so let's see, so it's going to be 8,994 experience. Okay. 8,994 experience. Not 84, 94. Alright, let's divide that by 3. Okay, we are sub 3,000 battles. We need less than 3,000 battles now. 2,998 more battles. We need less than 3,000 battles to beat this challenge. And whew! Man, I'll tell you what though, this has been quite the journey for this. And this is in fact what we're going to call it tonight, but before we do, let me send you Twitch people over somewhere else. Let me see, what are we looking for here? Let's see, raids channel. Darkest Dungeons, I'm Not a God, Date with Death. Grimshire, Kingdom Hearts 2. Robot Wars. Look at this! Someone is apparently someone has their own React bot from Jack's Films, but someone is playing through .hack.gu. Play through. Let's see, let's take a look. Yeah, let's go ahead and raid them. Let's go ahead and raid Altheria. Yeah. If they got their own React bot going there. So, friends, if you haven't already, go hit that follow button. It is absolutely free. Yeah, take care, people. You get better. I hope you get better. Have wifey take good care of you. You know, get better soon, okay, Bee-Boo? And for those of you who are have not seen these streams before, my name is Claude. Good to have you here. You know, if you haven't already, hit that follow button. It's absolutely free. Or if you're on the YouTube side of things, hit that subscribe button. You can also head to our Discord, which I'll provide right here. Discord. You'll be notified that when we go live, when we will. Yeah, you will. Yeah. And you'll be notified that when we go live. You know, I'm a .hack YouTuber as well. I do .hack topics for .hack people, and yes, we do variety streams with some wonderful people. And so, friends, we're going to go ahead and start the raid. All of you, stay classy, stay beautiful, but most importantly, Have yourselves a wonderful night. Have fun in Alferia's stream as they're playing .hack GU. Good night, friends.